If your life isn't moving forward, even though you're trying to do everything right, something's blocking you. And it's not lack of effort, it's wrong beliefs running on autopilot. The problem is, as long as this doesn't change, you keep pushing away opportunity, money, and results without realizing you're being sabotaged by what you believe. I only understood this when my life was already stuck. For a long time I thought it was bad luck or lack of ability, but it wasn't. It was the way I was thinking, without even questioning it. Today I'm going to show you the 10 beliefs that sabotage your manifestation the most, including one you're carrying right now without realizing it. Before we get into this, subscribe to the channel because every week I bring content about manifestation, mindset, and money with logic, no BS. And hit the like button because it helps this content reach more people who are stuck. Now let's get straight to it. Most people think the problem is lack of effort, that they need to do more affirmations, visualize more, decree harder, but that's not it. I only realized this when I noticed a pattern. The same people who say they want to change their lives reject opportunities when they show up. And it's not laziness. These are beliefs you don't even question anymore. You just act according to them on autopilot. They work like a security system. Whenever something shows up that doesn't match what you believe about yourself, your mind blocks it. Real example, there are people desperate to earn more. They visualize, affirm, ask the universe. But when an opportunity comes up to charge more, to ask for a raise, they make up excuses that they're not ready, that it's not the right time, that it doesn't feel right. Why? Because deep down they believe money is dirty, that anyone who has a lot must have done something wrong. And as long as this belief is active, you push away what you say you want. And the worst part, this gets stronger over time. Every time you act this way, you confirm to your mind that it's right. It becomes a cycle. I mapped out the 10 beliefs that sabotage the most, the ones that keep people stuck even when they're trying to get out. Because if you don't identify this, you'll keep trying to manifest on top of a foundation that's pulling you backwards. And the first one is the one that blocks money the most. It's the belief that money equals evil. It comes from religious education, moralistic discourse, that whole story that rich people are always corrupt. You grew up hearing this, and even if you say you don't believe it, deep down there's an active residue. And I'm going to tell you something, as long as you carry this, you're going to stay poor, because every time you think about earning more, you feel guilt, and guilt blocks action. In practice, you get offered a raise but don't ask for what you deserve because you don't want to seem greedy. You have an idea but feel like charging fairly is exploiting people. You see someone earning well and judge they must have done something wrong. This completely sabotages you. You don't attract what you judge as negative. Your mind keeps you away from it, so you push away opportunities, accept less than you're worth, and justify it by saying it's not about the money. This one traps even more people. It's the scarcity mentality. The idea that it's never enough, that time is running out, that money is always lacking. And the worst part, this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you believe in scarcity, the more you make fear-based decisions. And fear-based decisions always push away what you want to attract. Specific example, there are people who won't invest $300 in a course that could change their career because they don't have money, but they spend $500 a month on delivery, streaming they don't watch, subscriptions they forgot about. They don't have it to invest in themselves, but they have it to consume on autopilot. Why? Because the scarcity belief makes you act like you'll never have it again. You hold back where you should invest and spend where it brings no return. You're vibrating at the frequency of lack. You act, think, and decide like someone who's always lacking, and reality just reflects that back to you. Now we're getting into a deeper level. The next beliefs don't just attack money, they attack you. How you see yourself. I carried this one for a long time. It's when you believe you don't have the necessary skills and you keep waiting to be ready to start, but ready never comes. It comes straight from comparison. You look at someone who's already ahead and think, this person knows so much more, has experience, connections. I don't have any of that. The real problem, nobody starts knowing. You develop skills while you do it, not before you do it. But the belief reverses this. It convinces you that you need to know everything before you try. Classic behavior. You want to start an online business, but first you need to take that course. You finish it and discover you need to understand copywriting better. You take another one and another. 3 years later, you have 10 certificates, but never sold anything, because the problem was never knowledge. It was fear of trying without guarantees. And you used eternal preparation as an excuse not to face the discomfort of making mistakes. I see this one every day, and it's when you create a fixed identity about yourself that justifies not trying. I'm not good at sales. I'm not good with technology. I'm too old to learn this. If it was going to work out, it would have already. Every time you repeat this, you program your brain to avoid trying. You turn an excuse into a definition of who you are. In practice, an opportunity comes up that requires something new. You look at it and think, I'm not cut out for this. And you give up before you start because you've already decided it's not your thing. The truth, you don't know if you're cut out for it or not because you never really tried. You tried once, it didn't work the first time, and you already labeled yourself incapable. And the worst is the age excuse. I'm past the age to start from zero. I've seen people at 40, 35 years old say this, and I think you still have about 50 years of life, and you're going to spend all of it repeating that it's too late. You're using the time that's already passed as justification to waste the time you still have. You believe success is only for others, that you can try, but you'll never really get there because it's not for you. And so you become a spectator. Day to day, you see someone who prospered and think, oh, but they got lucky. They knew the right people. They had money saved up. Notice you never ask yourself, what risk did they take that I don't take? What difficult decision did they make that I avoid? The belief has already decided that their success came from outside. Luck, privilege, something you don't have. As long as you think this way, you don't act like someone who can create their own results. You act like someone waiting to be chosen, waiting for luck, waiting for perfect conditions, but they don't come. Because you don't believe you can make it happen on your own. And you don't manifest what you don't believe is possible for you. You can repeat affirmations all day, visualize, but if deep down you believe that this only happens to other people, you're going to keep watching from the outside. If the previous belief takes you out of the game, this one puts you against the game. Now you don't just believe success is for others, you believe the world is actively against you. The system is unfair, the government doesn't help, the economy is destroyed, and nothing works out for you. This is tempting because it absolves you of responsibility. If the problem is always external, you don't need to change anything internal. But the real cost, you completely lose the power to change. If the problem is outside, you'll never look inside. Specific example, you complain that you don't have opportunity, that nobody gives a chance to people starting out. But when a real opportunity shows up, someone calls you for a project, refers you for a position, you make up problems. I don't trust it. Seems like a scheme. It's not the right time. And when nothing comes of it, you confirm, see? I knew it, but it wasn't the world that blocked it. It was you. This belief doesn't just take you out of action. It puts you at war with reality. You spend your whole life fighting what's outside and never fix what's inside. If you recognized yourself in these beliefs, especially that last one, putting yourself as a victim, you need to understand knowing the belief exists isn't enough. You need to reprogram it. It was at this point that I started using material that changed the game. It's an ebook that goes beyond identifying beliefs. It teaches step by step how to reprogram at the subconscious level. Because watching a video and understanding is one thing. Having a structured method you apply every day until it becomes automatic is another. If you want to change this, the link is in the description or pinned comment. But now pay attention, because the next two beliefs are the ones that disguise self-sabotage the most. This one's tricky. It seems like you're being responsible, thorough, but in practice you're just delaying. The trap: you don't start because you're waiting for everything to be perfect, for conditions to be ideal. But those conditions never come. Day to day, you want to launch a product, but first you need to improve the design. You improve it, but now you need to adjust the copy. You adjust it, but it's not the ideal market timing. 6 months later, you haven't launched anything, because there was always one more detail missing. The real problem isn't the detail, it's fear. Fear of failing, of being judged, of not being good enough. So you use perfectionism as protection. If you don't launch, nobody can criticize. If you don't try, you don't fail. But you also don't grow. The truth: you don't need perfection to start. You need imperfect action, and you adjust along the way. This is the favorite excuse of people who don't want to leave their comfort zone. And I'm going to tell you something: time exists. What doesn't exist is priority aligned with what you say you want. The person who doesn't have time to study, to start a business, to take care of their health, has 3 hours a day on Instagram. Time for series, to scroll through feeds aimlessly. The problem isn't time, it's that you use lack of time as a shield not to face the discomfort of trying something new. If it were truly a priority, you'd make time, you'd cut what doesn't matter, you'd reorganize your schedule. While you use lack of time as justification, you program your brain to see obstacles instead of solutions. You keep saying you want to change your life, but you never change anything in practice. Now we get to the two most destructive beliefs. They don't block you from outside, they destroy you from within. I need to suffer to deserve anything good. If it wasn't difficult, if it didn't hurt, it has no value. If it came easy, you're suspicious. This comes from sacrifice culture, phrases you heard your whole life. You have to work really hard to win. Success requires sacrifice, and you internalize it. You start associating pain with achievement. The problem: you start rejecting what comes without effort, because you don't believe you deserve it if you didn't suffer first. Example: a good opportunity shows up, an invitation, a referral, but it came quickly without you grinding. And you think, this doesn't seem legitimate, something must be wrong. And you sabotage, you make up problems, question, doubt, until the opportunity passes, because you only feel deserving of what you conquered with pain. This is the one that kills everything. Not good enough. The root of self-devaluation. And it kills confidence, self-esteem, ability to act. In practice, you've been working at the same company for years. You do good work, deliver results. A coordinator position opens up. You have experience, ability, but you don't apply. Why? Because you look at the others and think, they're better. I don't have a chance. Or, if I try and don't get it, they'll realize I wasn't as good as they thought. You eliminate yourself. And this happens in everything. You don't charge what you're worth because there are better people charging less. You don't position yourself because who am I to speak? You accept being treated as an option because at least they're still considering me. While you act this way, you confirm to yourself that you really aren't good enough. Now pay attention, because what I'm about to tell you changes everything. All these beliefs I showed you: money is evil, success is for others, I'm not good enough, they're not the real problem. They're symptoms. The root belief, the one that sustains all of them, is this: I don't deserve to be prosperous. The others talk about the external world, about money, systems, ability, but this one talks about who you believe you are, about what you deserve to have. Let me explain how it feeds the others. If you believe you don't deserve to be prosperous, then money needs to be bad. Because if money were good, you'd be admitting you want something you believe you can't have. So your mind turns money into a villain. If you believe you don't deserve it, then success needs to be only for others. Because if it were possible for you too, you'd have to admit the problem is in you, not in the world, and that hurts. So you outsource it. If you believe you don't deserve it, then you accept being treated as inferior. You charge less, accept less, position yourself less, not because you don't know you're worth more, but because you don't believe you deserve more. I only understood this when I noticed a pattern. Every time I made money above normal, I'd find a way to spend it. I'd buy junk, solve everyone's problems, and I'd go back to the same financial place. It wasn't lack of control, it was programmed self-sabotage, because I had an invisible limit of how much I believed I deserved to have. And every time I exceeded that limit, my brain pulled me back. You get a good offer, better than anything you've had, and instead of accepting with confidence, you start making up problems. Can I handle this? This seems too good for me. And you delay, complicate, question until the opportunity passes. Here's the shift. When you change this belief, when you reprogram what you believe about deserving, all the others lose strength. If you start believing you deserve prosperity, money stops being a villain, success stops being someone else's thing, and you stop accepting scraps. This belief is hard to identify because you never consciously think I don't deserve to prosper. But you act exactly like someone who believes that. It doesn't show up as a thought, it shows up as automatic behavior, as decisions you make without questioning, as limits you don't cross because it doesn't make sense. Example, there are people who spend years working on their beliefs about money. They study manifestation. They understand that money isn't evil, that they're capable. And they improve, they become more conscious, confident, but they keep earning the same amount. Why? When the real opportunity to earn more shows up, a promotion, a bigger project, they refuse. Or they accept but sabotage it halfway through. And the justification is always rational. I don't want to overload myself. It's not the right time. But the truth, they don't see themselves at that level. They don't feel deserving of that level. Your brain has a mechanism called confirmation bias. It filters reality to confirm what you already believe about yourself. If you see yourself as someone who doesn't deserve to prosper, it's going to make you notice only the evidence that confirms that. You see people prospering and think they got lucky instead of they made a decision I can make too. You get a compliment and dismiss it. Anyone would do that instead of accepting you did well. You earn more in a month and spend it all, because keeping the money would be accepting you deserve to have more, and that conflicts with your self-image. And it was only when I understood this that the problem wasn't out there, it was the self-image I was carrying, that things really started to change. The first step, the only one that matters today, is to start identifying when this belief is active. Over the next few days, pay attention to situations where you act like you don't deserve something good. It could be someone complimenting you and you brushing it off. A good opportunity and you making up problems. You earning extra money and spending it all without thinking. When you notice this, just observe. You don't need to do anything else. Just identify the pattern. Because the belief only loses strength when you stop acting on autopilot. Second step, question it. Every time you identify the behavior, ask yourself, why do I believe I don't deserve this? And don't accept the first answer. Go deep. Who said so? Based on what? Most of the time you'll realize there's no logical answer. It's just an old belief running on autopilot. Third step, affirm with intention. Affirmation only works if you repeat it with the real emotion of someone who believes it. It's not just repeating it on autopilot. It's stopping, speaking with conviction. I deserve prosperity. I deserve abundance without guilt, and feeling it while you say it. Fourth step, visualize with emotion. It's not about seeing yourself rich like a movie. It's about feeling the emotion of being in that place. Visualize yourself receiving a good offer and accepting it without guilt, with money in your account and feeling deserving, occupying a bigger space and feeling comfortable there. The idea is to train your brain to associate prosperity with comfort, not with guilt. Fifth step, the most important, Act like someone who deserves it, because you can identify, question, affirm, visualize, but if you keep acting like someone who doesn't deserve it, nothing changes. Start making aligned decisions. When someone compliments you, accept it. When it's time to charge your worth, charge it. When an opportunity to occupy a bigger space shows up, take it. Don't wait for permission. Every time you do this, you send a signal to your brain. I deserve to be here. The more you act this way, the more your brain reprograms your self-image. This isn't instant. It's reprogramming. It takes time. But the more you practice, the weaker the old belief gets. If you made it this far, you already have more than most people. You've already identified the beliefs. You already understand how they work. You already know where to start. But now comes the critical part, turning this into daily practice. Because understanding the root is one thing. Having the discipline to reprogram this every day is another. And that's where that material I mentioned made a difference. Not because it gave me new information, but because it gave me the system, the routine, the method I applied every day. After you identify the deserving belief, what comes next? How do you maintain consistency? How do you avoid falling back into the old pattern when life gets tough? That's what the ebook solves. It gives you the complete path. And I still use it today. If you want to take the next step, the link is in the description or pinned comment. Now tell me in the comments, which of these beliefs did you recognize yourself in the most? Because I read all of them, and I often get video ideas from there. And if you know someone who's stuck financially, who's tried everything, send them this video. It might be the missing piece. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because I bring this kind of content every week. Manifestation, mindset, and money, always with logic. And remember, you're not going to change your life while you're carrying beliefs that sabotage you. But now you know which one is the strongest, and you know what to do with it. See you in the next one.